So I wanna record me reading at least two pages. An old boyfriend gave me a book in English by a Russian author, and he was a very bright person. He still is. It's a strange light, isn't it? Whatever. Well, this is just a yellow light here. And I lost my sight. I mean, not completely, but I have to put glasses on, and I haven't got used to them. I think because I have a small nose, it's very hard on me. Okay, so I'll try it without the glasses, and if I don't, manage. Okay. So this is the book. Lord Pavich. Well, say shown as a mirror, isn't it? It's the dictionary of the Khazars. It's actually a real story or something like that about a tribe, the Khazari, that I think, according to the Jewish, phrase, they made, they became Jewish. But, I mean, this is I think it's fiction. Well, I mean, the Russians are very funny. I mean, he was very analytical. I mean, they had Yuri Gagarin in the... but they're very mystical as well, It's they're very creative and everything. So I think it's prose. Anyway, so it's Lexicon Khazari curriculum. So the Red Book. Christian sources on the Khazar question. At least 2 pages. Page 21, there's a preface, prologue, or whatever it's called, about the true story, which I don't want to read. Let's, go to the prose. Ate, the 9th century, the Khazar princess whose role in the polemic concerning the Khazars' conversion was decisive. Her name is taken to be the term for the Khazars' 4 states of consciousness. At night she wore a single letter on each eyelid. So I'm managing without. I mean, the font is not that big, but I'm managing without. I mean, maybe it's a thing of the night. Eyelid. Inscribed as are those put on the eyelids of horses before a race. The letters came from the proscribed Khazar alphabet, in which each letter kills as soon as it is read. They were written by blind men, and the ladies in waiting shut their eyes when they attended to the princess in the morning before her bath. Thus she was protected from her enemies while she slept. This, for the Khazars, was the time when a person is the most vulnerable. Yeah, I mean, Khazars. Anyone sleeping is vulnerable, isn't he? Under attack. Night attacks, it's a very common thing in war strategy. Attack at night. Attack was a beautiful and pious woman, and the letters suited her perfectly. 7 kinds of salt stood on her table at all times, and she would always dip her fingers in different salt before taking each piece of fish. It's actually very interesting because just for the knowledge, when I learned psychology, it was the neuroscience and the cells were activated by salts, by sodium, which in the late, old times, they used to, before, the modern medicine, they used to cure people with salts, which is very interesting. And actually, it's now a different term, but for instance, in sports, you will speak about people who run and do exercise as returning the electrolytes, which is just salt, and you don't need Himalaya salt or fancy salt. Just take salt and put it in water, Interesting. This is the way, okay, but I'm reading. Supposed to be in a receptive mode. So she ate salt with a fish. This is the way she prayed. They say she had 7 faces, like her 7 swords. So Russian, 7 faces, I mean, it's all prose. And actually, they sometimes believe in this shit. So mystical. Okay, so according to one legend, every morning she would pick up a mirror and sit down to draw. A male or female slave, always someone different, would come to pose. And every morning she would create a new hitherto unseen image of her own face, according to other stories. Attach was no beauty at all, but she would train her face in the mirror and compose her features into a lovely expression. Okay, and a pretty shape. These beauty exercises required tremendous physical effort, and as soon as the princess was alone and could relax, her beauty would dissolve like her salt. In any event, in the 9th century, a Byzantine emperor a Byzantine emperor, I mean, actually the emperor, but the Byzantine is one of the longest ruling. Very interesting, and it's very connected to the Russians as well. Anyway, used a Byzantine emperor used the term Khazar's face to describe the famous philosopher and patriarch Proteus, which could have meant either that the patriarch was related to the Khazars or that he was hypocrite. Anyway, it's the Red Book, the Christian. I'm going to the end. 3 minutes left. The Red Book, page 22. According to the Dabermanus, neither was the case. The term Khazar face referred to the characteristics of all Khazars. It included Princess Ate, of starting each day as someone else, with a completely new and unfamiliar face, so that even the closest of kin were at pains to recognize one another. Travelers recorded just the opposite, that all Khazar faces were identical, that they never changed, and that this created problems and caused confusion. Whatever the case may be, the result is the same, and the Khazar face epitomatizes a face that is hard to recall. This may also explain the legend that the Princess Atek showed a different face of each of the participants in the Khazar polemic at Kagan's court, or even that there were 3 princesses Atek, for the Muslim, another for the Christian, and a third for the Hebrew scholar and dream interpreter. Okay. The fact is, however, that her presence at the Khazar palace was not recorded in the Christian source of the time, written in the Greek and translated to the old Slavonic, which is part of the Russian thing. The life of Constantine the Third is in Cyril, but according to the Khazar dictionary, something like a cult of princesses, Atek once existed among Greek and Slavic monastic circles. The cult originated in the belief that Atek had defeated the Hebrew theologian in the Khazar polemic and had adopted Christianity along with her Kagan, about whom it is uncertain whether he was her father, her husband, or her brother. That's awful. Okay, whatever. 2 of Princess Atek prayers were preserved in the Greek translation, and although they were never canonized, the Mary cites them as her Our Father and Hail Mary. The first of these 2 prayers reads, "Oh, our sheep, my father, the crew swarms like ants. I cleaned it in the morning with my hair, and they crawled up the clean mast and stripped the green sails like sweet wine leaves into the anthills. The helmsman